We're here for the third straight year, Grayhawk Golf Club NCAA Division I Championships. The women just wrapped up, the men getting set here. I'm here with the man, Shu, in charge of everything, director of pretty much everything going on at this event. We'll start there. Third year. What's changed? What have you learned? How's it going this time around?
So third year. These are hard. These are a lot of work. And the first year, if you and I were doing an interview 2 years ago, and first of all, I'm just one little piece of the pie. We have Arizona State, we have the Golf Channel, we have Pro-Am, we have TSI, we have our food and beverage staff, Ernie Pock, our maintenance team. I mean, we have a huge team that is, as well as the NCAA. This is basically, as a major championship, it's a lot of work, and doing it the first year is the hardest. Last year was a little easier, this year a little easier because you're at the same facility. Nothing really changes. This year they added more teams for the women, but as far as being at the same property, it works as opposed to most tour events or most other reasons. You go in 1 year and you leave. And that's hard, right? Versus they've been here 3 years, they now move on to La Costa for 3 years. It's the right model for college golf. It's the right way to do it, and commending the Golf Channel and the NCAA for doing that.
For those that don't know, how does it work? Obviously, there's a couple of key factors here. Public golf course, volunteers helping out with everything.
Yep.
What's the step-by-step process of how this works out?
Well, basically, you have TV, you need the volunteers, you need parking, you need security, you need food and beverage, you've got players, you need player access, etc. A lot of the boxes that you have to check for a regular tour event, you check the box on this, and you have to do it right. And honestly, the volunteers, we couldn't do it without the volunteers. Phoenix and the Arizona area, our volunteers are unbelievable. I think we had in the high 80s, low 90 percentile of returning volunteers. They're smart, they're into it, and the players, they all comment on it, and it's really cool. And that's just, again, one piece of the puzzle. You got to have the whole piece to put the puzzle together, and that volunteer piece, I mean, it's like the least of our concerns because they're so energetic and so motivated.
Yeah, every time I've been out here the 3 years, they are just so excited to be here. They're having a good time. Even when it's 110 degrees outside, walking around, they get after it.
It's incredible. So, yeah.
What I wanted to get into next, actually, is so one thing I've noticed, and I did a brief lap today, so I haven't fully checked it out, but I was always astounded by the fact that you have a women's tournament go on for a week, and then you get to the men's still, and the course looks the same. Everything's just as nice. There's no messed up greens. Everything's great. How does that happen?
And I announced it just right behind us last night. I think the most level of pride we have is prior to coming to Grayhawk, I'm not sure the women they were unfortunate depending on the place they were to get the right setup, and the couple of the places they played, they had some weather. They didn't get the full 4 rounds in. And one of the things we did, particularly Travis McCutcheon and Dell, we tested the women with the AJGA event we did here. We did it for 2 years before it came and really got our yardages down. Worked with Missy Farr, worked with a lot of the college coaches, and Allison Brown from Tennessee and her team have absolutely nailed it. We got it right the first year, and really good last year, and spectacular this year. So what people don't understand is there's a women's championship. Don't even talk to us about the men's championship until today. We concluded last night. We had a couple beers. We wake up. Now we got a men's championship, and that's not the way it's always been. And the women kind of maybe had some heavier rough or some conditions that there was nothing they could do about. We've made it clear that there's a women's championship and there's a men's, and women's golf is just on such a great trajectory right now, and men's is as well, and we're just pleased that we're a part of it.
If you could go back, I know we touched on it briefly in the first question, but if you can go back to the first year doing this, what would you tell yourself or the people around you? Like, what would you do differently that you do now?
Well, we did it. So it was the feedback we got was they felt like we didn't have enough water and shade. We're used to the Arizona sun, but it's fascinating when people come out. You tell them about the sun, you tell them about the dry heat, and it's different, and you've got some older folks and all that stuff. So one of the cool things is, to the credit of Arizona State, they have been unbelievable partners in the Thunderbirds. This is not a cheap event to do it right, and we added shade structures. We put more water out there. As much as we thought we had the water covered, we need the customer and the patrons that came out, they said you need more, and boy, it'd be cool if you had some stands, and those aren't cheap. Like, if you think of stands or suites, which we looked at, it's costly, and you got to get your return. But we put shade structures, about 6 of them out there, and it's a place where, again, it's college golf. There's going to be 5 players, 5 groups coming through. So if you're out there walking, you grab a bottle of water or grab a Gatorade, you can go sit in the shade and watch the groups kind of come through. Or if you're watching a family member, if you're there for a specific person, you're going to get ahead of it so you can see them coming down a certain hole. And they've been very well placed throughout the golf course, and we're getting a lot of good feedback. Plus, on TV, it looks like an LPGA event, or it looks like a Korn Ferry event, and it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Pretty much last thing I got, and it might have a second question after, but what do you think, the next courses that are going to be hosting the NCAA championships can learn from what's been done here at Grayhawk the last few years?
Well, it's going to La Costa. They're doing a restoration there right now. It's in Southern California, and what's nice about that is the La Costa resort, it's like a famous resort. They've remodeled it. Omni people have been over here taking notes the last 3 years. And they know they've got their work cut out for them. That first year is going to be that tough year. However, they got the hotel. The other partner I failed to mention is the Hyatt at Gainey Ranch. I mean, for our student athletes and the NCAA and the Golf Channel to come to a destination like Scottsdale, Phoenix metro area, to be able to stay at the Hyatt Gainey Ranch, for the family and friends to come over, it's awesome. Next year they go to Carlsbad, they get to stay at La Costa. The kids will stay at La Costa, which will be on site, right? The course will be there, and everybody will be in one place, and I think they'll look forward to that. But really, they've got their work cut out. Same thing we've told them. Guys, first year will be the hardest. You'll figure it out. They've got a little extra stress because of they're growing in a golf course, and they're going to get it done. It's going to be fine. But they got this whole restoration on top of everything else for the next year. But they got a year to do it. So once the champion is crowned Wednesday night for the men's, it's off. It's no longer about Grayhawk. It's no longer about Scottsdale. It's all about La Costa, and we're all cheering for those guys, and we want to help them in whatever way we can.
And is there potentially a plan in place to bring it back to Grayhawk one day?
It's funny you bring that up. That was a discussion last night. There will be it's really, we're just one piece of that partnership. They'll be bidding that out this summer. And as long as Arizona State and the Thunderbirds are continuing to be a part of it, if everything works out for everybody, I would imagine Grayhawk would be just as interested, because it's a fun event, yeah. And we like it. I mean, this place was built for championships, and this is your future of golf, right? And what's funny is we've had the Junior League here, like in 2016, 2017. It's crazy now. Some of these kids have played Junior League, are coming here. Well, a lot of the kids played in the AJGA we had that played here. Now you got kids that played in Junior League that are like freshmen, sophomores playing here, and it's kind of cool for the tradition of Grayhawk, and I really enjoy that.
It comes with that's the biggest stand for it too, is just the fact that it's so welcoming here. A public course has to basically be closed for 3 weeks to run this, and everyone seems to be on board with that, which is really, really different to see.
Right, and throughout the year, we were instrumental in making sure there was a rules change with the coaches, and there was resistance that nobody was allowed to have practice rounds. That was another thing which everybody scratches their heads on, like that they can't play a practice round. And one of the absolute most important things is we're public. Teams should be able to practice at the championship venue without any problem. So the last 3 years, in the middle of February, March, or April, when teams are coming in to play a tournament or crossing the country, our customer and our facility has loved seeing, you're right here, you're watching 18, you're right here on the putting green. College teams that come out, any golfer, I would say most golfers, really support and appreciate the collegiate level of women and men golf. I mean, it's the finest players, the finest amateurs in the world. And when they're here in their, their college colors, they're just the most courteous. They're very professional. The coaches are fun, and they're out here and they're really enjoying it. And that's the benefit of having them really year-round. So it's been a lot of fun hosting the championship, but hosting and getting to know the coaches and the kids for 3 years has been a lot of fun, as well as the NCAA staff, and it's been great.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. For those that want to come out and just see what it's all about for the men's championship, for the final time of this 3-year run. Admission's free, plenty of water, lots of great golf to see. So definitely, I'd say we encourage you all to come on out here.
Please come out. Let's support the Sun Devil men. Let's get a championship on their last year here in Scottsdale. We need your help. Let's get Sparky out here. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you.